everybody, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Hope you're all doing really well and welcome back to a brand new video. Today's video is going to be baby products that I couldn't live without, so like must-have baby products. Now I understand that this video isn't going to be for all of our subscribers, so I'm really sorry if this isn't for you, if you've not got children, if you've got no interest in children. For some people, if you haven't got children, you might have friends or family that's pregnant and it might give you a little bit of inspiration on what you could maybe get them. Or for any of my new mamas out there, it might kind of be a bit of inspo for you, any of my followers that are pregnant. But I do get that it's not for everybody. If this video isn't for you, then I totally get it if you don't want to watch and skip to the next video. But I have had so many questions of people asking, what do I need to get? I'm pregnant. But then I've also had a few saying, my friend's pregnant, my sister's pregnant, I'm not sure what to get her, have you got any ideas? So I just thought I'd film a video, all of my must-haves. I feel like I can confidently say now what my must-haves would be for a newborn, because Cooper is 5 months old, which is absolutely crazy. I don't even know where the time's gone. So I definitely know the products that I couldn't have lived without when he was a newborn. I will also like just throw in a few out there that I couldn't live without now as well. Now he's like a 5-month-old. I feel like 0 to 3 is like one stage, and then when they become like 3 months, 3 to 6 is like another stage. So I'll also talk about those products as well. Okay, so I have wrote down, got a list on my phone, my notes. Let me just find it. Must-haves. Okay, so I thought what would be a good place to start is my must-have labour products. I was one of these people that watched all these videos, what do you need to pack in your hospital bag, and I did actually film packing my hospital bag in one of the vlogs around Christmas time. To be honest, I feel like I did pack pretty well because I was induced. So I was in hospital for 3 days. I was in hospital 3 days, 2 nights. I did have a lot of comments like, you don't need that much stuff, but for me being induced, I did need that much stuff. So obviously it would be different if you were just going in and coming straight home. So I've only wrote down my four must-haves for labour, and I feel like this is for everybody, whether you go in and out, whether you're in for re-induced, whatever. So the first one is a decent sized water bottle. Now I know that might sound really crazy because you're probably thinking, well, the hospitals have cups and glasses and stuff. This is actually what I got for Christmas off Tommy, one of my presents, because I actually took I had like a dupe of a Stanley flask, and honestly I literally could not have lived without that, not even in labour, pre-labour, because when I was pregnant I was so thirsty, and I find that when I have like a big flask like this I tend to drink so much more than if I was just to have glasses. So anyway, so I took my dupe one of these I had, and it was an absolute godsend. The reason I got a new one for Christmas was because when I was in labour, I don't know what happened, but I knocked it off the table and it all smashed. But it got me to labour, which was the main thing. The reason I'm saying I would take a big water bottle, doesn't even have to be one of these, just a big one with a straw. I definitely suggest a straw, you don't want like one like that when you're in labour, is because the hospitals are really good, or my hospital was really good at like asking me if I wanted to drink and bringing along like jugs of water, and there was like juice you could help yourself to. However, the glasses they bring you, honestly, they're like that big. Now, when you're in labour, the labour wards are so warm. You want to be drinking constantly, and the cups are literally so small, you're just constantly refilling it. Whereas if you have a good sized, decent water bottle, you're not having to refill it as often. Not only that, when you're in labour and you just want drinks, it's just so easy for people to pass you. So that would be number one, just a good decent sized bottle. They sell these in like B&M, The Range, loads of different places, but honestly these water bottles are absolutely amazing. TikTok Shop's another one. I will link one down below from one of those places just in case you want to go and get one, but definitely a big water bottle. The next one was a fan. Now again, everyone told me to get a fan, like a little handheld fan, and I was a bit like, why? Now I get it. That fan was my saving grace. Just a little handheld one. I'll link the one that I got. It was just from Amazon down below. It was absolutely amazing. Like I just said, the labour wards are so warm. That fan was just incredible. And not only that, this might sound really silly, it was obviously good to keep me cool, but I also found it quite a good distraction. I don't know if that sounds really weird. I don't really know why, to be honest, but I think because I was so focused on the fan being in my face, it kind of distracted me a little bit sometimes from what was going on. But definitely a fan. Another one would be flip-flops. Now this is another one that I would have been like, really, like, why do I need flip-flops? When you're up and down from your bed, and again this might just be because I was induced, Might be different if you're just going in, but obviously sometimes you don't know how long you're going to be in hospital for. Up and down, going to the toilet, going to the shower rooms, just literally walking around the hospital. Flip-flops were a godsend. Like, I walked around that hospital so many times trying to get the baby out, like up and down the steps, walking around, curb walking, just up and down to the toilet all the time. Like, you're constantly up and down, and flip-flops were just amazing because your feet are a bit swollen, you don't want to have to put your shoes on, like put your trainers on, do you like, you just don't want to do that. So flip-flops are a must. I've seen a lot of people say that they're going to take slippers. Same kind of thing, aren't they? But in my opinion, I would rather take flip-flops because slippers sometimes are quite warm and cosy. Like I've just said 100 times, the labour wars are very warm. So I would just go get yourself a good pair of flip-flops. I already had some, but you can go Primark, 99p. Like, they're not expensive. Go get yourself a good pair of flip-flops and a size up because your feet will probably swell. The last thing, my fourth must-have for labour, is an extra long charger. I don't know if it's like this in all hospitals, I think it probably is, but the chargers are quite high up on the wall behind you. So just having a long charger, especially if you're waiting around, is really handy. You know, if you want to go on your phone, if you want to listen to music, listen to a podcast, watch a YouTube video, go on social media, text your family and friends, FaceTime people, a long charger, again, was a must-have for me in labour. I could go on and on and on, and if you would like to know more, then let me know, but I think I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet there. They are my four. If I had to pick four must-haves for labour. Okay, moving on to... Some of these I still do use, which I will, like, obviously say when I speak about it, but must-haves for a newborn. Oh my god, the first one, I would have never have even thought of this. I did have it, but not for the reason I'm going to tell you. So, a nursing pillow. So, you know, one of those ones that are like that, and you tend to use it when you're nursing your baby, so like when you're breastfeeding, they can lie on you, or if you're bottle feeding, whatever. I never used it for nursing. It was a godsend. I put a blanket over it and Cooper laid in it. I'll try and pop a picture on screen here now for you of just one example, but it was amazing. Even when you're going to see your family and friends, you can just take it with you, pop a blanket over it, lay them on it, and he used to sleep on that. He used to love it. I'm not talking about sleeping at night, but like in the day, you know, like if he was asleep on the sofa next to me, he would lay in that. Obviously, I probably don't need to say this, but don't do it and leave your baby unattended. But I personally found, and a lot of my friends actually that have had babies, or I've literally just had babies now, say it's an absolute godsend. So a lot of people probably wouldn't think of using it for that because it's obviously a nursing pillow, but I can't even explain to you. That probably would have been my #1 thing for a newborn because we used it so much. Again, I will leave a link to one down below, but there's so many on Amazon. Everything I talk about I will link, the ones I have, but obviously there's more out there as well, like more designs and stuff. Absolute, like godsend, as I keep saying, absolutely amazing. Amazing, could not have lived without that. Like I say, handy to take like out to your family and friends. Just phenomenal. He absolutely loved it. You know, like a lot of people use them docker tots. Are they called docker tot sleepy heads? I know each to their own. Some say you shouldn't use them, some say you should. I actually got given one from Tommy's sister, and I think he went in it once. Now, everything like that, obviously you shouldn't leave them unattended, is what they say. The nursing pillow, we never did. He was just on the sofa next to us sleeping in it, and I really, really, really could not live without that. It was my #1, like I've just said. The next one, Grow Egg. I can actually show you this. I don't even know what made me get this, to be honest. Let me just unplug it because it's actually on our bedside table because we still actually use this to this day. So it looks like this, an egg. And when it's plugged in, it basically lights up, so it's actually pairs really nicely with the nightlight as well. And it tells you on the back here, like the colour codes. So if the Grow Egg turns red, that means it's over 24 degrees in your room, and that's too warm, so you need to open windows and cool it down. If it turns orange, it's warm, that's 20 to 24, so that's not too bad, warm's fine. If it's yellow, that's the recommended temperature, so that's between 16 and 20 degrees. And then if it turns blue, it's too cold, it means it's under 16. So temperature's a massive, massive thing that they always talk to you about in hospital, and like your midwife will talk, like you don't want your baby to be overheated, too cold, blah, blah, blah. This was just so reassuring for us because if it was yellow, we knew it was fine. If it was orange, still fine, it was just on the warmer side, so maybe like open a window for a little bit. But We always made sure it was yellow before we came to bed, and it was just a really, really good peace of mind. They're not very expensive at all. It's called the Grow Egg. This says Grow Egg 2. I don't know if that's like an upgrade. I don't really see how it would be. He says here, if room temperature is outside the recommended guidelines, start to cool or heat the room, or adjust the baby's bedding or clothing. So yeah, just for me anyway, and for Tom, it was just really, really good reassurance, peace of mind that the room is the right temperature. And again, you can take this with you, you know, like if you're staying out or if the baby's staying out. So yeah, must have for us. Let me just plug that back in. Next thing on my list is a white noise machine. Now we've just got this little portable one because again, you can just take it out and about with you. Like if you're trying to get baby to sleep in the pram and you're out and about, you can just take it with you. But you can get so many different variations of these. Again, not expensive at all. This plays white noise, and it also is a light as well. So let me see if I can. It is dead. I don't know if you can see. It's not too bright, but Cooper absolutely loved this. I don't know if it's because when they're in your womb, this is obviously what they hear, this kind of noise. So I don't know if it's just maybe really reassuring for them and feels like a bit like home. I'm not sure, but we literally use this from day dot. As soon as he was born, this was like near him at all times, playing white noise. To be honest, I was going to say we still use it now. It's been out of battery for the last 2 nights. I need to charge it, but we have had a fan on because it's hot, and I feel like the fan in the room kind of acts as white noise because it's a similar kind of sound. I don't know if he needs this anymore or if it's just habit for me, but when he goes to bed we put this on, and if he wakes up in the night and I feed him and he goes back down, I put this on. But the last 2 nights he's been fine, you know, like if the fan's gone off he's been fine, so I don't really think he needs it anymore. Obviously he's 5 months now, he doesn't need it anymore. It's been out of charge for a few days now and it's been fine, but like I said, we have had the fan on. I think it's just more when they're newborn, when they've just come out of you, then they're used to those sounds in your womb. I think that's really nice for them. So again, that's a newborn must have. Maybe not for now, but just for when they're first born, that was really good. Okay, this next one, absolute godsend. I remember when it was round about day 5 after I'd given birth, and my midwife came round on day 1, and she was obviously asking all the questions. How are you? How is baby Cooper? Like, how are you feeling? I was like, yeah, I'm feeling really good. And she was like, it's normal to be emotional. She was like, day 5, your emotions will be through the roof. And I was like, what? Like, that's so random, like on a specific day. Let me tell you, day 5 came and I did not stop crying. Not because of Cooper, I was smitten by him. I was crying because of how overwhelmed I felt about how to sterilise stuff, how to put my breast pumps together because I'd never used them, how to sterilise my breast pumps, how do they work. Like, there was just all this stuff that I didn't know, and let's face it, they don't tell you any of this stuff. And I felt really overwhelmed because I didn't know what I was doing with specifically sterilising, which I guess brings me on to, this wasn't the one I was going to talk about, but brings me on quite nicely to the Milton steriliser. So there are so many sterilisers you can get out there. We went for the standard cold water steriliser. It's a Milton one. It's basically like a big tub. You buy Milton tablets, you put the tablet in. On the on the big tub, there's like a measure thing. So you fill it with cold water, put your tablet in, jobs are good in. Anything that needs sterilising, wash it with soapy water, rinse it off, put it in the steriliser, 15 minutes, it's sterilised. Easy. So that was brilliant. And then for bottles, another must-have, we used MAM bottles. Now, Cooper is breastfed, but he does, and he has had a bottle every night before bed. He has a bottle of formula, purely just because we wanted him to know the taste of formula, just in case breastfeeding didn't work out. And secondly, just because we wanted him to get used to bottles. And he'll have, you know, like for example, today I've been to a baby shower, Tommy's had him for the day, so when he's needed feeding, he's had bottles of my expressed milk. So we've needed bottles although he's breastfed, and we have the MAM bottles. Absolutely amazing. So I was sterilising the MAM bottles in the cold water steriliser. I knew that they were self-sterilising, but I didn't know how to work it. And I remember on day 5 my best friend came round and she was like, I was like overwhelmed with how to be honest, I was crying because I didn't know how to put my pumps together. I'll be really honest, I didn't know how to work my breast pumps, didn't know how to put them together. It was all these little pieces and I was like, I don't know how to use them. So she was like, right, let's watch a video, let's do it together. That was the thing that I was finding the most overwhelming. Looking back it seems silly, but I was really emotional because I couldn't wear a breast pump. Anyway, She was like, you do know these bottles are self-sterilised? And I was like, yeah, but I don't know how to do it. And she was like, right, let me show you. Oh my god, game changer. You literally, if you look on YouTube how to self-sterilise a man bottle, you basically take it to pieces, fill the bottom with a bit of cold water, put it together and put it in the microwave for 3 minutes, done. So we don't use the steriliser for the bottles, we just do them in the microwave. So man bottles, amazing, would highly recommend them. The Milton steriliser, amazing, because that's good for dummies if your baby has a dummy. Cooper's never really taken to a dummy, if I'm honest. I've tried the different ones. He'd have it every so often as a newborn, but he really won't fuss, and he still, if I give him a dummy, he acts like you're choking him. So it's just not even worth it. So he doesn't have a dummy, but the steriliser's good for your dummies. Bottles if they don't self-sterilise, and then also your breast pumps if you're pumping. You can put them in the cold water steriliser as well. So I'd really recommend that. It's so easy. I know all these other sterilisers are probably really easy as well, but the cold water steriliser is £15. It's so cheap, so affordable, so easy, and you can take it with you, no faff. If you're in a hotel, fill it up. Do you know what I mean? It's just so easy to use. So I'd really recommend the cold water steriliser. I'd really recommend the man bottles. And then for when he did have a dummy, so like I say, when he was a newborn, he'd tolerate the dummy sometimes. So sometimes I'd give him it, I'd have to like hold it in for a little bit, and then he'd take it, and then he wouldn't want it, and then he'd take it. Never really took to it, but for when he did want it, I found they're basically, again I'll link it, but it's Milton, it's the brand Milton again, and it's a cold water steriliser, dummy steriliser. So it's like a little circle. I'm trying to think what it looks like. You know those things you can get in vending machines for kids, and they're like circles and they have like little dolls in? I don't even know. I'll try and pop it on screen. If not, go in the description and click on the link. It's basically a little circle tub. You fill it with cold water. You buy the mini Milton sterilising tablets, put it in, and then literally you can put the dummy in, push it and twist it. 15 minutes, the dummy's sterilised. So you know, like if you're out and about and the dummy gets dropped on the floor, give it a wash, put it in there in your nappy bag, 15 minutes and it's sterilised. It's so easy and so handy to just keep in your nappy bag at all times if your baby has a dummy. So I'd really recommend the dummy steriliser, which is the Milton brand, the big Milton steriliser, and also the man bottles. Really recommend all of those. I'm actually going to cross these off as I'm saying them because I'm forgetting which ones I've done and which ones I haven't. Next one, nursing cover. Alright, yeah, a nursing cover. When I first started going out and breastfeeding, obviously it's a little bit daunting when you first start doing it, and you can obviously get like your what they're called, muslins, and you can obviously put them over, but I found them really annoying because you're like trying to breastfeed, then you're trying to hold the muslin over so it's not falling down, and it was just, when you're already like, oh, because you're new to it, it was just a bit annoying. So I found online, it's basically like a big muslin, but it has like a thing that you put over your head, basically like an apron, right? So you know, like where you put an apron over your head, it was like that, and then it just floated down, and it almost like went out here. So if Cooper was feeding, I could just put that over my head, so I wasn't having to hold it to keep it up. I'd pop it over my head, pop it over Cooper, and then there was a bit here so I could see him, and obviously you could breathe through it as well. So good. I got mine off a random website, but I've noticed that Shein sells them. So again, I'll try and find one on Shein and link it down below for you, because they're really not expensive, and it's so much easier than a muslin trying to hold it and position it. Bang it over your head, there's a bit here so you can see them, you know that there's air, and you just put them under. So good, so good. I'd really recommend that. The next one is a nappy caddy. I don't know if I move this cushion, you can see it there on my bedside table. We personally have two, so we have one up here and he's next to me, obviously on my bedside table for the night, and we also have one downstairs in the living room. We don't have one in anywhere else upstairs because in his room we've obviously got everything, and the kitchen's right next to the living room, but you could have one in every room if you wanted to be a bit bougie. We have two. We have, like I say, one downstairs, one upstairs. Fill it with all your essentials. So we've got nappies, we've got wipes, we've got Calpol. I've got one upstairs. I haven't got one in my downstairs caddy because the kitchen's right next door, but you know, like in the night if you needed Calpol, I've got one. What else I've got? Muslins, a spare change of clothes for the newborn days. Don't have them in there now, but I remember in the night, the poo explosions used to be a thing in the night and we'd need new clothes. It doesn't happen anymore, but I'd advise putting them in it. If you're breastfeeding, breast pads for if you leak, nappy cream. What else have we got in there? Nappy bags. Yeah, just all your essentials really. It's just so handy, especially in the night. When you're changing them, it's just easy to grab, and then especially downstairs, so you're not having to run up and down the stairs to change them all the time. So I'd really recommend two, one for upstairs and one for downstairs. I again got mine off Amazon, I believe. In fact, I've got one from Amazon upstairs, and then my mum got me one downstairs. I'm not sure where that's from, but the one I bought I'll pop down below for you. So that's a nappy caddy. This one, some people are going to think that's disgusting. Not going to be for everybody. But I think it's Frida snot sucker. That sounds disgusting, I know. As I've spoken about before, Coops was quite bunged up in the early days, and then he got COVID. So we didn't really have a great start in the first like 8 weeks in regards to him like being congested and stuff. And the snot sucker was a godsend. So basically what it is, it can't come through to you because there's little filters that you put in it. But it's basically like a tube, and then like a wire, and then a bit that you suck in, but there is a filter, so it doesn't come into your mouth. You put the tube to the tip of the nose and you suck, and it sucks all the snot. I know some people will find that vile. It really, really helped, because when he was really, really little and he was so congested and he was struggling to get it out, I found when he was really little, snot didn't come out. It was just like he was really congested, but the snot wasn't coming out. Whereas now, snot just comes out. You just suck it, and it honestly is amazing. Speaking of that, I don't actually have it on my list, and I do know they've got to be a certain age for these. I think it could be 3 months plus. But the Calpol plugins are a godsend. It's basically a plug-in, like a plug-in that you get when you go to B&M, you know, to put the smelly ones. It looks like that, and then you get like a vapor thing that you slide into it, and it like lets off like basically like a Vicks scent. That helped so much when he was congested. If your baby has cold or is congested, a snot sucker and a Calpol plug-in, I'd highly, highly recommend. Phenomenal. I'd really recommend both of them. But yeah, the snot sucker was amazing. It's funny though, because he's a little bit congested at the minute. I tried to use the snot sucker with him yesterday, and he's like, now he's a bit older, he don't want me to use it, which is fine. But yeah, I would really recommend that snot sucker. So good. So good. Although quite disgusting at the same time. The next thing, probably not a must-have, but I did find this really helpful, was a little projector. We have a different one now off TikTok shop, which we do use actually every night, like to wind down, like he'll just look at it. But so yeah, actually I guess a projector would be good up until now, and probably for a bit longer, to be fair. I'll link the one that I got off TikTok shop, because it's amazing. It's only like £10. It's not expensive, but it's really good to distract them, or if they're like upset or whatever and you're trying to calm them down. A projector in a dark room, they just find it so fascinating. So that's a really, really nice thing to have. Maybe not a must-have, but Cooper did and still does really enjoy the projector. The next thing, a swing. I had a swing. I have actually got a different one now, which I actually prefer. The reason I sold the first one was because the TV used to be on the cabinet, and then when it went on the wall, it was a bit low down for him to see, so I got a bit of a higher one. But the one we've got now, I think it's called the Maxi Cozy. I'm sure it's Maxi Cozy. Again, I'm going to link it. I can't remember exactly what it's called. Is it Cassia? I feel like it's Maxi Cozy Cassia something. Maxi Cozy Cassia swing. Yeah, Maxi Cozy Cassia swing. Amazing. It swings from side to side. You can turn it and it's like up and down. I think it plays music. Yeah, it plays music, I think. Don't quote me on that. And it's just so good. Like, if you need to quickly go wash up, put them in the swing, you can properly strap them in, you can put something on the telly or put the projector on, put white noise on, whatever. The swing, Cooper doesn't love it now he's older because he wants to be up and about, but as a newborn, absolutely amazing. I'd really, really recommend a good swing, and that one was really, really good. And I noticed the difference on the first one I had to that one, so I'd really recommend that one. And then the last one on my list for like newborns is a rocket. Now again, this is probably not a must-have but a nice to have. You've probably heard of them before, but it's like a, looks like a rocket. You could put it to your pram, and when you put it on, it rocks the pram. So, you know, like if you're going out for dinner, as an example, and the baby's asleep, or you're trying to get them to sleep and you want to eat, or you want to have coffee or whatever, you can put that on and it just swings the pram. Again, like I said, that's definitely not a must-have, but it's a nice to have. A nice gift as well for maybe family or like one of your close friends. But yeah, it's just nice. We still do use that now, to be fair. It's just really handy. And you can turn it up and down. So like when they're really little, you obviously don't want it to be rocking too much. When they're a bit bigger, you can turn it up a little bit more. So yeah, I'd really, really recommend that. So I'd say they're my must-haves for a newborn. And like I say, some do cross over onto, we still do use it now. In terms of must-haves for now, okay, I'll keep this short and sweet because a lot of it is actually still the same, like the bottles, the steriliser. I would say for now, Cooper absolutely loves, it's like a little seat we've got. We actually bought it off someone we know for like £20. So you can get them off like Marketplace and stuff. Let me just try and find a picture to show you what it looks like. Oh, this is the one we've got actually. I'll link it down below for you. A seat like that, it's got like a little tray and it's got like toys and stuff on it. He loves sitting in this because he likes to try and be sat up. Now he can't sit up on his own unaided just yet, but he likes to try and sit up, and in that he can sit up. If I want to go wash up now, I'll put him in that and then put the telly on. I'll give him some toys around him, and he absolutely loves it. So just like a little seat that they can sit on. Also, I will put the seat on the dining table. Again, I would never leave him unattended, but if I'm washing up, he can sit on there, put some nursery rhymes on, he can watch me, and he really, really likes that as well. So I definitely really advise one of those. They're really, really good. The only other thing that I would recommend as like a really something Cooper really likes now as well is a wooden gym. So he has one of those black and white mats, and he did have another mat as well when he was a bit younger, that you can lie on and play with, which he does really like. But he really likes just to lay on the floor, and it's like a wooden gym that comes over with like dangly bits on while he's just laid on the floor. He really, really likes to play with that, and he finds it really fascinating to just lay and like touch them. And he actually puts his feet up and tries to touch them with his feet and stuff as well. So yeah, I'd really, really recommend that for now. Just when he's that little bit older, the seat and the wooden gym he absolutely loves. There probably is loads more things. I can't remember off the top of my head, but as it stands, they are the things I would really, really recommend. I'm trying to think if there's anything that we really didn't use. Like I say, we got a docker tot. I don't know if it's called a docker tot or a sleepy head. We used it like, I want to say once or twice. Like he was not interested. We didn't have an actual Moses basket, but we had something like a Moses basket. He used it but didn't love it, if I'm honest. Like if he was asleep downstairs, he was in that nursing pillow thing with a blanket over it. He loved that. So personally, we didn't use a Moses basket. We didn't use a sleepy head. I can't really comment on dummies because, like I say, weren't really bothered. We did have the man ones, and we also tried the bib ones because it's meant to resemble a boob. Not really interested at all. One other thing that we do really like for when we do the formula is the, what's the brand? I don't know if it's Newbie, but the flasks. You have one that cools it, and you have one that is for hot water. We use that on the night when we do his formula now. We literally use that to cool the water down. So again, do your research, but they're really good too. And it's like we were out and about yesterday, and he has some porridge at about tea time, and usually I mix it with my breast milk, but because we were out and about, I did it with hot water, and the flask was really good. I know you can get any flask for hot water, but the cooling down one's good because you can just put it in, and like it takes 2 minutes and it cools it down, so that's also really handy. Like I said, there's probably loads more that I could ramble on about, but they're the ones that come to the top of my head. They're the ones that I wrote down to talk to you all about, because they are things that I really, really couldn't have lived without in the newborn stages. And like I said, just a couple of things that we really, really enjoy now. Like I said at the beginning, I'm sorry, I know this video isn't for everybody, but to be honest, if this video wasn't for you, you've probably clicked off it by now anyway. So I really hope that you found this useful. If you are expecting a baby, if you're a new mum, if you've got any friends and family that are pregnant, I really hope that you found this helpful and useful. Obviously, I'm no expert or anything. They're just products that we found really, really helpful. Hello? Like I said, I will leave it all in the description box linked for you as well. Good timing. Off the top of your head, hola, anything you can think of that's a must-have for a baby? Any products?
A must-have for a baby?
I'll tell you the ones. Bath seat, yeah, the Angel Care bath seat is very good. £30 Amazon, I'll link that for you. Oh, cheeky boy. I've said the nursing pillow.
Car camera.
Oh my god, yes, Tom.
What have you?
I've not even talked about that. You. A car camera. So obviously you can, I have spoke about that on a vlog actually, but obviously you can get the mirrors for the car. But we found, because he was born in December, oh, he's been sick. Because he was born in December, when it went pitch black at night, we couldn't see him in the mirror, could we?
No.
So we got a car camera, I'll link that too, and it basically looks like a little GoPro that attaches to where the mirror would be, and then at the front it looks like a, what they call?
Like a sat nav.
Like a sat nav, and you can see him camera, and it's night vision, which was handy. So yeah, I'd really recommend that over a mirror. So good, so good. Anything else?
These little bags.
I've said a nappy paddy. I've said the nursing pillow. How much did he lay on that
when
he was a newborn?
I love the nursing pillow.
I've said the rocket thing. It's quite good. It's not a must-have.
Temperature thing for a bath.
Oh yeah, that you put in the bath. That's a good one.
Thank you.
What else have I said? I said the man bottles because you just put them in the microwave to sterilise. So easy.
Yeah.
I've said this white noise. He used to love this as a newborn. He probably isn't as fussed now, is he? But
no, he probably don't need it now.
Okay. The dummy steriliser. I know he didn't really like dummies, but that was quite a good one. It sterilised.
Yeah, the little one to take out with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The egg.
I've said the egg.
Can't think of any more off the top of my head. Who's going to say is it my porridge time?
Oh yeah, sorry bub. It is tea time. It's tea time!
Tea time, Mum.
Perfect way to end anyways. Like I say, I hope you have all enjoyed. If you have, then please don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up, and we shall see you in the next one. Bye!